Hey, what's up, everybody? So this question is, how do you feel about the affordability of a college education? So I think this is a topic that's super challenging to tackle. To me, what I notice now is, it's almost becoming, this division point between haves and have-nots. You can either, afford to send your kid to college or you can't. And I feel like that's very similar to, how folks viewed a college education back in, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even into the 90s. So I think we're creating a class divide, right now in 2020 that is a little bit different compared to when I went to college. So I graduated high school in 2002, and then I graduated, college from the University of Connecticut in 2006. And, you know, I was an out of stater, so, the cost of my college was more than my Connecticut friends. And I had assistance from, my family. I didn't pay for all of my school. So I was super fortunate. But like even in, between the years of 2002, 2006, it was, unheard of to not go to college. I mean, that was the move, right? You perform well in high school, you get the grades, and you go to college. And then you go to college, you graduate, and you get a good job. Like that was the idea. Where now in 2020, college costs continue to rise. So I think the biggest thing that I see right now and that I've seen develop since the 2008 economic collapse is young people are looking at college education as a cost benefit scenario where, like, if you spend or if you invest between, you know, 60,000 and $150,000 in a college education, what sort of career opportunity are you going to have with that degree? And I think from 2008, you know, into the present, I think a lot of people my age have been extremely disappointed with the yield, um, in response to the financial investment that we made, with our college education. And I think moving forward, young people and the families of these young people are going to have to make that same decision. And I don't know what the answer is because it's almost like you're screwed if you don't go to college, and depending on what major you decide on, you might be screwed if you go to college as well. And so obviously, I think college is really expensive, and I would be lying to you as a young person who, if I were to tell you that like a college investment will pay off, because I don't know. I think every young person is a little bit different. Everybody's skill set is different. Obviously, if you graduate from a fancy Ivy League school, you're going to have a competitive advantage, over somebody like me who went to a state school. I think, the connections that certain schools have are advantageous. Um, I still think that there's value in trade schools. I think there's value in doing community college for a couple of years and then transferring. I think that there is value in staying in state, even when it's, probably sexier to go somewhere else and, to kind of escape where you're from for a little while. Um, I do think that the financial burden that is, the cost of a college education is something that we can't ignore. I mean, we have over $1 trillion in college debt, like collective college debt, over $1 trillion. And that's a sort of debt that doesn't go away. So you're left paying for it forever. So, you know, I think if you are in a position to go to a good school, I think you should definitely go. Now, I think that you should look at it from a lens where you kind of have to control your expectations when you graduate. I think with what's going on with COVID-19 right now, you don't know what 2020 is going to look like. You don't know what 2021 is going to look like. You don't know if this virus is going to be impactful to the global economy for the next couple of years. We don't know. Now, what I can tell you is, once you have that degree, nobody can take it away from you. So, that's always going to be part of your makeup, in the eyes of an employer. And, there are so many different things that you learn while away at college. So the experience in itself is valuable. As somebody who's running for public office, I will constantly be looking at different ways to make college more affordable, because if we saddle our young people with college debt, and when each young person graduates, they're not able to find a job that allows them to pay to support themselves, to me, that's just a catastrophe. It's the opposite of the American dream. It's the American scheme where, colleges and universities and different lenders are making shitloads of money, taking advantage of, or misinformed young people, and they're saddled with that debt forever. So I think that there is a lot more that we can do to manage expectations surrounding what young people should expect after they graduate from school. But as somebody running for public office, like I said, I will constantly be looking at different ways to, lower college educations, especially public schools in the state of Minnesota, and also look at different revenue streams that we can create in order to, build additional tax revenue that can be used to put towards, more affordable education. So, if right now it costs $20,000 a year to go to the University of Minnesota, as an in-state Minnesotan, how do we cut that in half? And to me, creating additional, revenue streams from taxing new business is one way to do it. Another way that we can do it is, we can raise taxes, on the wealthiest Americans, and they wouldn't be impacted, and the people who are looking to go to school would be in a much better fiscal position to succeed, and to have an opportunity to obtain a little slice of the American dream when they graduate. So yeah, that's what I got for this one. Thanks.